Artificial intelligence is reshaping our world, powering everything from journalism and entertainment to medicine and finance. But with this rapid evolution comes serious ethical questions. How should we think about AI's influence on decision making, creativity, and personal privacy? This is Beyond the First. From the basement studios of WSOE at Elon University, this is Beyond the First, a podcast where we explore the intersection of media law, ethics, and real-world impact. I'm your host, Israel Balderas. And in this series, we're diving deep into the legal, ethical dilemmas shaping the media landscape today. For today's episode, we're exploring the rise of AI and its ethical dilemmas. You know, as artificial intelligence continues to push the boundaries of innovation, ethical concerns surrounding bias, privacy, and accountability are taking center stage. Here's the question for you. Should AI-generated content, for example, be regulated? Who's responsible when AI makes decisions that impact human lives? And how do we ensure ethical AI development in a world driven by technology exists? Joining me today, Kirsten Bergman and Erica Matkins. These are two students from my media law and ethics course, and they've been researching the ethical implications of AI. They're going to help us to unpack all the opportunities and risks associated with AI. So, Kirsten, Erica, welcome to Beyond the First. So let's start with the big question. I'll throw it out to both of you. Do you all think that AI can ever truly be ethical, or is bias and unintended harm inevitable with this technology?
Well, if I'm going to start, I'll say that I think that ethics has to be acknowledged as having so many different perspectives that by one perspective, perhaps it could be ethical and from another it's not. However, I think generally it just depends on who's using it and how it's being used. But that's just an initial perspective. Erica?
I agree. I feel like ethics, like you said, you have to look at it from different standpoints and different sides. I don't think AI can ever be just neutral. There always is going to be a bias towards ethics. With AI, just because it is like a human-made thing, and us humans, we do have our biases. So, yeah, it's never going to be like a neutral like machine we're able to use to get any answers that, yeah.
Well, and to your point, Erica, there is this concern, right, of bias. We've had examples, right, where, for example, the AI input that human beings have uploaded, the results have been sometimes quite, awe-dropping, right? That early on, there was an example of, Google's Gemini, the input was, give me a picture of the founding fathers, and the founding fathers were, of one ethnicity. Certainly, AI being misogynistic has sometimes been an issue. So to your point, Erica, is at what point is it about human inputs versus in the future, there's a potential that AI will continue to develop on its own apart from human inputs?
So what was your question?
So what do you do you think that inevitably, because human beings are involved in AI technology, we can't get away from these concerns, but the technology may be so good that
it develops its like own kind of
right?
opinion and biases.
Is that possible?
I do believe it's possible as it begins to like progress and advance. I don't know. I'm just looking back and just thinking about all the movies I've seen about like AI and just like the robots and them kind of just going against humanity and humans and being like, wait a minute, like we have our own like opinions and stuff. Even though it's like a silly thing to think about, it could be our reality. So I do think that is a possibility. Like, yes, AI could come up with its own like, hey, no, we actually want to do this instead and not listen to what you programmed us to believe or program us to say.
Right. And think about, for example, take the driving car example, right? Elon Musk has AI-driven cars, self-driving cars. Take the trolley, right? Ethical dilemma. And this is the dilemma that, you have a trolley, It's heading on the tracks. The turning wheel is not working, and so you've got 5 workers on the tracks, Kirsten, and you have a chance to pull the lever that would turn the trolley on another track to save 5, but then it's going to, kill another person on that, divergent track. Do AI models start to go, well, am I Kantian on this aspect? Am I utilitarian? I mean, are we expecting these kinds of outputs from AI?
Right. And this is actually the specific concept of self-driving cars and ethical logic in the trolley problem is something I discussed at some other class. I think it was a psychology class. We were talking about how this is going to be relevant in the future. My initial perspective is they're going to just swerve. I don't know if there will be a certain amount of ethics behind it. It will just be avoid the person. I don't know necessarily if they will actually have to take in all these different perspectives. But I think that there's also the third perspective that we have yet to consider with the basic trolley problem, which is the safety of the person inside the car.
Yeah.
So does that mean that they're going to just completely do whatever it's easiest to avoid a crash? So I don't know. I think that AI itself is a very, very broad field, and it means everything from a Google search engine that only suggests ethnicities of one type when you search like happy family versus AI being used in healthcare to assist with surgeries and precision. So I don't know. I think that there will always need to be some ethical concerns in major AI processes, but I think the main thing to consider is that AI, specifically in examples of ChatGPT and Gemini and these other similar technologies, is that it is using human data to create these answers, to come up with these responses and these questions, which therefore means that there will be human error and human bias. It may not stick to one. It may go, here's this argument from this humanistic perspective versus this. But I think that there will always be some sort of aspect to that.
Erica, I'm a huge John Rawls guy, right? I believe in social justice to a large extent. And when I think about AI, I think about the future of the workforce, because after all, that's what I'm doing. I'm training the future workforce, right? And so in my class, I'm the kind of professor that has brought in this conversation of AI and the future of AI. And what I worry about a lot is what kind of world will they find as far as employment opportunities in a year, in 3 years, right, in 5 years? Because that's where I'm living. I'm living in 2030, and I'm thinking about your third job and what I need to do to prepare you for that job, but it doesn't exist. And I think about, will it be ethical that AI will replace human beings in certain areas of the workforce? And should we be having those conversations from a practical and from an ethical perspective? Or am I thinking too much about it and I should just teach you, here are the facts?
Yeah, no, I definitely think we should look at it from both sides. And I've had previous professors tell me too, they're like, I am concerned about you guys' future in the workforce because you guys are all comm majors and yeah, the AI is taking over. And they're like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to talk about this prompt. I did an AI chat prompt. I put into ChatGPT. I said, I am currently a senior in college who is graduating this May with a degree in communication design. What do you think the job market would look like for me with the current AI advancements? So the chat came up with the job market for communication design graduates like you is evolving rapidly with advancements in AI. Here's how these trends might shape your opportunities. So it gave me a list of positive trends and then a list of like challenges. And I was like, okay, so I don't know. It's kind of telling me like, oh wait, no, you're fine.
Could you read those? I'm fascinated by this. So what are the positive and what are the challenges?
Okay, so for the positive, AI was like increased demand for unique design. So they'll need us to come up with unique things that AI hasn't been inputted. And then number 2, tools for efficiency. So AI-powered tools like Adobe's generative design features can enhance productivity. And then number 3, new opportunities. AI has opened up roles in UX, UI design for AI interfaces, branding for tech startups, and creating human-centered design solutions. So some challenges they listed out was increased competition. With AI making basic design accessible, you'll need to differentiate yourself through a strong portfolio. So basically, we're going to have to be competing with AI is how I read that. Advanced skills and possibly specialization in areas like motion graphics, UX, UI design, or branding. And then number 2 for challenges was adaptation required. So staying updated on how to integrate AI tools effectively into your workflow will be essential. Learning how to work with AI is how I interpreted that. Employers may favor candidates who demonstrate proficiency in leveraging these technologies. So yeah, it's kind of like, hey, we're going to be your friend in the next future. So get adjusted to us and kind of learn how we work because we're going to be in your workplace. So yeah, we definitely should be talking more about how AI will affect our younger generation. I don't think it's okay. I personally don't think it's okay to completely replace humans with AI. I believe that, we did build up this community we have now and how everything is working. So we should be able to maintain that as humans. So just completely replacing us with computer technology just feels kind of dehumanizing and, so what can I do,
Yeah. What do you think, Kirsten? I mean, that's pretty powerful, right? But I would argue that Erica is a rarity. I don't think a lot of young people are thinking that deeply about their future the way Erica is thinking about it. Or am I wrong? Do you think your generation is having these kinds of conversations more and more?
That in general, I don't think that we're concerned enough about AI because I have known ever since ChatGPT became popular around, I think, our freshman year.
Yeah.
I only started really hearing about it like freshman spring, maybe. So
the
it's been
first
about 2
time
years.
I talked about AI in media law and ethics was January of 2023 during the winter term.
Yeah.
Right. That's the first time. And I asked the ethics question involving the ethical question, right? The one that I always ask, give me 2, reasons why it's ethical and to give me 2 reasons why it's not. The question is basic. Should students use AI? Right. That was 2 years ago. We're way beyond that question.
No, absolutely. Freshman fall, we weren't even asked the question of here's how you use AI, here's how you don't. I mean, it may have been on a syllabus, but I don't remember discussing it. And then suddenly in the spring, it was everyone's like, oh, I used ChatGPT to help me with this homework assignment. I did this. I'm thinking, are we becoming too reliant on it? Because I've seen, partially it was due to COVID, but I've seen the trends in all the elementary schoolers and the middle schoolers and the high schoolers that are so far behind, partially because of COVID and the at-home learning, but also the use of AI technology completely relieves students of a pressure to feel like they have to complete all their work by themselves. If they have this help, it's like when we went from using like our own minds to come up with math problems versus coming into calculators. Suddenly you got so many more options, and we're still trying to get kids to not use calculators through like 1st through 3rd grade. So I think it's a matter of we have to figure out, I think AI is going to exist no matter what. Now that it's created, we're going to continue to adapt it because that's what humans do. We adapt, we evolve. But I think that we have to figure out how to regulate it, not by government, but by ourselves and our own standards for ourselves. The other thing is there are going to be a lot of jobs that are lost to technology. That's just fact because it's convenience, not necessarily because we hate humans. It's just if it's convenient and it's more efficient. Like, for example, my example earlier with healthcare, if it's more efficient and more safe for these robots to be performing these surgeries on people, then we don't want doctors as long as the robots are guaranteed to do their jobs. And this will reduce mortality rates or reduce post-complications. So it's a matter of, well, we need humans to at least regulate the AI, but if we can save lives, if we can do good, utilitarianism, if we can do greater good for the greatest amount of people, then AI is going to continue to thrive and take jobs. Now, this may create jobs in the computer science district, but does that mean that that's all there will be left is technology jobs and comp sci majors here and there? Which, don't get me wrong, love a good comp sci major, but you have to figure out at what point should we stop. Is the evolution of AI ever going to stop? Are we going to have to limit what AI technologies can exist in what
how far
districts?
will it go?
Exactly,
AI,
yeah. It's a really dangerous topic, and I don't think we've ever really thought about it. But I mean, I am a strategic communications major. So does that mean that I will have these proposals for what to do on this specific PR thing? Is that going to be all come up with by AI, or is my creative needs still going to be met? it creates a lot of problems for everybody, and I don't think anybody's thinking about it unless they're in the creative industry.
I agree.
The World Economic Forum just met in Davos, is meeting in Davos this week. By the time people hear this podcast, it might be already past a few weeks. They released this report on the future of jobs, right? And they have this figure, that they put out. Technology trends driving business transformation from 2025 to 2030. And what they said is, what are the share of employers surveyed that identify the stated technology trend as likely to drive business transformation? 86% said AI and information processing technologies. And then 58% robots and autonomous systems. And 41% said energy generation, storage, and distribution. What I don't see is a lot of comm jobs in that list. So here's my question for you, Erica. As AI becomes more integrated into the job market, should there be a universal ethical code guiding the development, or should ethical standards be determined on an industry-by-industry basis? After all, it was John Rawls, using again the theory of social justice, that employees should have equal opportunity to access positions within a company based on their abilities and merit, regardless of their social background or origin. But how could you have access to positions when it's AI that is better than you in those positions?
Yeah, I do think ethically we'll have to look at AI on a industry basis. So, for example, you're Kirsten being a strat-com major and I'm being a
Comm
design major. Yeah. So those are similar fields, but if I'm more, in the creative side and you're more on like the strategical, analytical side, there can't be the same kind of just like levels as to how we both use and utilize AI. So I definitely think there needs to be different protocols when it comes to industries with AI for sure. Yeah.
What do you think, Kirsten? Last word?
I'm saying the world is being taken over by robots, and we should all be watching, what are those movies like I Am Robot? We got iRobot? Yeah. Pull out the Will Smith. But I say that AI is going to exist, ultimately. We have to just determine how we're going to interact with it.
Here's my question for you. Do you think Professor AI is going to be easier or harder? Oh, the silence is deafening.
I am going to stay back from that conversation.
Kirsten, Erica, thank you so much for your insightful discussion. As AI continues to evolve, obviously, ethical considerations must remain a priority. All right, thank you so much for tuning in to Beyond the First. Now, if this conversation resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. We'll be back with more engaging discussions on media law, ethics, and the pressing challenges of our digital age. Until next time, stay curious and keep the conversations going.